introduce you to Denise Lumiere, and you've probably already taken a look at Denise's beautiful website, which is new, and we could bring that up later on the screen, but I think Denise would first like to introduce us by showing us this chart and just giving us a little bit of information on the chart, so that we can get an idea of what human design
and since we have so many things on the screen, I can hardly see it, so I'll probably look at it in the book.
Let's move this over a little bit.
Everything's overlapping here.
Can you see now, honey? If I
yeah, it's fine.
Here.
I mean,
okay.
So let's see. I just brought that down. Oh, there we go. This, I have a picture.
Okay, great. So thank you all for being here, joining us. And Denise is going to start and give you a little bit of information about herself and human design.
There's a bunch on my website, but I started as an occupational therapist. I've been involved in spirituality for a lot of years. I'd say 40 plus, meditation, things like that. Studied spiritual psychology, NLP, a lot of different things. And more recently, last 5 years or so, I started looking at human design because someone had done an astrology chart for me and told me just a little bit about human design, and I got completely intrigued. I wasn't as attracted to the original people that did it. There was just something about it that didn't completely send me, but that's me. And later on, I ran into, it's synchronicity. I ran into an old friend who brought up her child with mine, and she was now married to the guy who wrote all the new books. So that's a little bit of synchronicity. So I started studying with them, and I studied it for a while. And even though I did like 6 months of studying, I still didn't feel like I was really had the full grasp to do really great readings. I did some, but didn't have the picture. And then last year, or 2 years ago, I think it was, on New Year's Eve, there was an advanced training I was looking at for the new year, and kind of put it in the light, put it in my hopper, put it into my inner truth to see if it resonated. And the next morning I had dreams about doing human design readings. So I said, I better go take advanced human design, and studied. And I've been studying with the mentor, which is Shaitan Parkin, who I really recommend his books because he's just taken it and made it really uplifting. So it's not like you're stuck, astrology, you are this and that's all of you, which good astrologers go beyond that. It's about the evolution and about how much we progress. The beautiful thing about it is that it's really magical. I am so blown away by how accurate. And what it is, I mean, you're looking at basically just a layout in the circle. That astrology was split into 12 different sections. So, you're talking Capricorn, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, whatever. The I Ching also went by the seasons. So it was an easy layout. When someone kind of downloaded this from Spirit, a fellow who later called himself Ra, but his name was Robert Allen, I think it's Kronofsky or something like that. He got all this information to put it together. So there are 64 sections which relate to the I Ching. If you know about the I Ching, it's a beautiful Asian, goes back to the Tao Te Ching, and it's a whole divination book where they used to throw coins, and the coins would lay out in 6 lines, which had a very poetic and esoteric meaning to it. Very poetic, very beautiful. It could be something like the mountain of stillness. It could be conflict resolution. It could be something that has to do with harmony or peace. And when this got laid out, so the astrology, there's an astrology chart, and you see this in the middle. Your human design chart looks like what is in the middle of this circle. The top, all the little triangles and squares are your centers, which are chakras plus a couple extra centers, the way they do it. There are 9 of those centers. There's 64 gates which correlate to the I Ching and the hexagrams of the I Ching. There are 32 channels, and how it's done is by your birth data. It doesn't have to be exact because it isn't quite the same as astrology in the way that it's laid out. So if you know morning and afternoon, that usually will be fine, and it can be double checked. there's also, they go back 88 days in your astrology and give you an extra chart that has all your unconscious lines. So if you ask me for the free chart that's on my website, it will show you one side is red, which is more your unconscious and genetic lines. That is like a birth chart done 88 days before your birthday. And the other side is your conscious. And when it all lays out, we can show you a chart. Do you have a chart to show? Because everybody comes out differently, and it's just remarkable. So you're talking about, you've got the 64 hexagrams, you have 64 genetic codons, which it also parallels with. It has the I Ching, which is a mathematical divination process. It has the Kabbalah, which is like the tree of life that you see. Well, I would bring up someone, either Zoe or you, because I don't want to bring up anybody else unless you let me know it's okay if I have one of yours. Like I have Terry's here, and I have Zoe's and myself. Okay. So Zoe, I'm bringing yours up. I hope that's okay. You can just let us know if it's not. Zoe's my daughter-in-law, an absolutely amazing coach, and she helped me with this web design. She's magnificent. Can you make that smaller, because they really can't see the picture? Oh,
and sorry, Denise. Yes, so happy for you to use my chat.
Thank you. So now we got it. So just beautiful, beautiful. I can see it. So just to show you, the different chakras or centers, you'll see the top triangle is the crown. The next one down is the mind, then the throat. The heart's divided into two sections in human design. So the yellow center is the self center, which has to do with the part of the heart that is purpose, identity, loving. And the red one, the little red triangle, that's called the heart center, is more about values, higher and lower ego, and money. And then you have an extra center on the right that's not filled in for her, which is the emotional center. You have on the left the spleen, which is filled in, and then you have in the center, second to the bottom, sacrum, and the bottom is root. Now this might overwhelm you, so please let me know if I go too fast. Write down a question and I'll give a breather where you can ask me something. There is so much to this. People say it's scientifically validated. How I see that is, for me, it's validated by how amazingly beautiful each unique chart is. And it is so accurate. It's blown me away over and over. You can see on her chart, the left side is all those red numbers. That's the unconscious. That's the birth chart according to 88 days before. On the right, you'll see the conscious. And next to every number, those are gate numbers of the I Ching that correlate to that circle, that correlate to specific names of gates. And that goes down, if you know astrology, the top is sun, and then we also look at the earth, where you're standing when you're born. The north node, south node, then the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and then there's a Chiron. So the other thing that happens with this that's really fascinating is you have undefined and defined centers. So for Zoe's amazing. She can get things done like you can't believe, and she's one of the 4 types. She's a manifester. She can just get it done. And there's certain tools that are important for her, because she'll leave people in the dust sometimes unless she tells them and informs them. We say, if you're a manifester, let people know what you're doing. You might leave them in the dust, and they'll feel more and go along more with you.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you notice also, there's a way that she's to make decisions, and that's shown in the chart too. And it's not emotional, because her emotional center is not filled in. It's the splenic. And so her way to make decision is that brown triangle. And she's to instantaneously, when something comes to her, it's like, yeah, that's it, or that's not it. And she'll know it instantly. Interestingly, her husband, which is my son, is the same way. So they kind of, it's yes or no, instant. There's a lot of that. I'm trying to think of what would be next to talk to you about to make this really clear. There's 4 different types. There's the manifester, which is Zoe. There's the projector, which I've seen, actually there were a few people who asked for charts, they're not here. They were all projectors. There's the manifesting generator, which Terry, I know you are, because I saw your chart. And Karen, are you a manifesting generator? She's a manifesting generator. But the main ones are projector, manifestor, reflector, and generator. And about 70% are generators, which their wheels are turning. They're always trying to figure out something to do. They have a lot of energy coming from the sacrum. The sacrum is lit up, which Zoe's is not. And the manifester is one that just gets things done, can just get things done instantly. And whenever people are around her, they get things done too. The manifesting generator is somebody that's a little more than just a generator. There's nothing wrong with being just a generator, but a manifesting generator, if they do their decisions right, if they go from their gut, check it out, and then they start heading to the door and check it out again, and it says yes, then they are a manifestor. They can go get them. The projector is a very empathic one, and we can show, you don't have my chart on there, do you?
No.
My chart, we didn't upload, but it has a lot of centers wide open. The centers that are wide open are the areas also where we all know we kind of feel like we pick up or sense things from other people. The centers that are like that, you either can be conditioned to do what other people think, feel, want you to do, but eventually you learn to be the wisdom teacher and reflect back who they are. So Zoe works with a lot of people in an incredible way with their emotions, and she has an undefined emotional center. She's been learning about everybody's emotions by sensing them her whole life because she feels them all. But she can also stand outside of them. And another reason that she can is through this, I want to just look at this line. See, she has a little line coming out of the emotional center, which is that right triangle where the 36 on the corner is and the little black line. And that line, the 36 is crisis resolution. So she has like this natural ability to help people resolve crisis when she's around people who are needing to learn about their emotions and when they often have the emotional center defined. In fact, mine is defined. So sometimes I ask Zoe for assistance, even though she's my daughter-in-law. And she can stand back, and my son is the same way. They actually both stand back in a different way than I do. There are every single way that a person is in this chart, in their chart, is so beautiful. There's no negative about being more emotional, less emotional, standing back, feeling everybody else's feelings, reflecting it. It combines to make quite a unique conglomeration of who the person is. So I'm going to stop for a second because I don't want to leave you in the dust and ask if there's any kind of questions or anybody knows about their chart and they want to ask a question about that.
Well, I'll just add a little bit if I can, just to kind of put a lovely experience on what you're sharing. Because I think we are all so different, right? But it's so easy to judge ourselves that we're not meant to be the way that we are. Yeah. And I know that the information that you've given, Denise, in terms of like even that splenic authority, where it's like you make decisions best with like that information or that gut instinct that comes straight to you, right? Yeah. If you start to question, if you start to go into some kind of mental thing, like that's not your way, but even just little pieces like that, it's like, oh wow, yeah, that's true, that's totally me. Like when I want to make a decision, it just hits me in the gut and I move forward. And similarly with the emotions, or just it's kind of like this amazing thing because it's really given me permission to go, oh yeah, this is how I work. Mm-hmm. This is me. These are my strengths. So it's just kind of like empowering to go, yeah, this is almost like a really powerful guidebook in terms of how I work best, and giving me permission to be me and not try and do things like someone else. Like, yeah, I get to do them like me. So it's been really empowering in that way. So it's just, yeah, very valuable for me so far.
Thank you so much. And interesting is my son is a projector, which I am also. So Zoe's like the speed of light. And sometimes she's probably saying, Eric, come on. And his
Yep.
mode, though, his mode isn't lazy. Some people think projectors can be lazy, but they need more integration time. They
Mhm.
need more time. They don't have what they call a motor center to keep their energy going. They catch it from other people. So they do need to go out to get that, but they need to also integrate and allow everything they've been picking up and feeling all around them to integrate. As well as projectors are supposed to wait for an invitation in life. They're not supposed to go head on like, that's it. And Zoe's more like that way. And Eric's more like, well, he's a musician. So though someone will, he gets that. People call and say, hey, will you write another piece of music or do this thing? And he also, there's a misnomer about projectors with some of the ways that people describe them, and that they have to wait for invitation. The invitation can be inner too. If you get the calling, if it's an invitation that goes yes, then that's cool. And even though he's that way, he's splenic. So decision making is a fast thing for him. A person who has the emotional center defined, like me, always is what's called the emotional authority, meaning they have to wait on decisions, wait several days, wait till you're not too high, like, oh, that's a pretty Cadillac, I'll buy that. Or, oh, I'm so sad, I'm going to make a decision now. It's like, no, wait for the zone. Wait for the zone that's kind of in between both of those, and be okay about experiencing all those feelings and going through the other side. They're okay too. So, any other questions or thoughts?
What's Zoe's theme?
Zoe's
Personal life
theme.
It would be here.
Yeah, if you scroll it down and I'll look at
there
it. The life themes are really amazing.
Incarnation.
I just stepped on my dog. He was under my feet.
Nice.
At what page does it say page? Because there's an incredible book by Chetan Parkin, but you don't really understand
96.
this until you.
96, page number 96.
Yes. So in it, it's so poignant. This I always read to someone. I mean, you can have it called, hers is Incarnation. Sometimes it's called Vessel of Love. It could be called Defiance. So hers is, for your life theme is to demonstrate to others through your spontaneous in the moment presence that life is to be lived by one's own inner truth. And this is devised from the sun sign, both conscious, unconscious, and the moon in the relation. I mean, in the earth in the relationship. You may at times have glimpses of apparent connections to other ages and dimensions, either in the past or the future, that keep you aware of inner evolving dance of life. You're very aware of what people and all living things as you sometimes go beyond what might be considered the normal bounds of friendship and associations and follow your fascination with life and the art of living. It's true for Zoe, isn't it? Karen knows Zoe too. How you choose to live is not always aligned with anyone's ways because of certain dissimilarity and uniqueness that you carry within. With your strong perceptions, you have a knack for tuning into what makes people tick. You can foresee people's needs and the problems that beset them, often anticipating solutions and rationalizations that will ease their situations. Well, that's what she does. She's a really amazing, successful coach who's very caring and knows how to work with people. And it goes on and on about great listener, and with your conscious sun in gate 24. And just to give you an example, what is gate 24? Gate 24 is returning, and there's certain lines of that it's how she does her thinking, how she brings her process. She'll come around and around back to what's right for her. As you develop wisdom, you can take on the role of the teacher who illustrates to others that life is not a problem to be solved, but rather a mystery to be lived. In the present moment is the reality in which to live it. So there's more here, but everyone is different. And if anybody wants to also, who hasn't requested a free chart, if you want to give me your birth data and at least approximate time, like right here in the chat, I can look it up and give you a couple things on that. That could be
awesome.
So is there anybody who'd like me to look at the chart or have any questions?
I'm going to unmute everybody, so you don't need to raise your hand. Would anybody like to offer their information? Donna?
Yes.
You would? Okay, great.
Okay, I'm typing it into my app. Okay, so Donna. Okay. Birth date is
11/18/58.
18. Okay, 11/18/58, and a time or approximate. What do you think?
It was 5 a.m.
Perfect.
My mother is sitting here watching too. Do
Oh,
you want one?
that's good.
So
and,
fun.
and where were you born?
Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. LEWIS
Okay.
URGPA.
Got it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull up the chart. We
I
need.
wonder if we could just plug this into your phone and bring it up from your phone.
I don't know.
I think we can.
So you're a manifesting generator. There's a whole other section about profiles that I will not have time to go into today. We're going to try and bring this up. And I don't know if I can show you pictures while you're showing it too.
Okay.
Can't see it yet. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, there's things I can see immediately when I look into your. It's like you're a super inspired person by many, many, many things. So we're going to try and plug in.
That plug into your phone?
Oh yeah. Let's just see if. But how do we? Does it just do the screen? Or it's going to start downloading my phone.
No, we should just be able to share.
Trust this computer, okay? Or you know what else might be easy? If it doesn't work,
Here we are.
oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll start talking to you anyway. You have a completely open crown, which is where I'm talking about inspiration. So you'd be getting inspiration going down to your mind from many, many arenas, and it's probably exploring a lot of different things. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yes, it does. I think the divine, yes, very much so.
Yeah, it's wide open.
You click trust.
Yeah, I clicked trust, so
Yeah.
it's not. And so, and then you also, on the other end, you have a wide open root center, which is that bottom square in that picture. You know, I'd go back to those square. I will email this to you right now. How's that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
unplug and I'm going to email
Okay.
this to Karen. Then she can put it up. And I can also email to you later. If you put it in their chat box, maybe Karen can pick it up.
Mhm.
Donna.
Oh, thank you. Do you need my?
Yeah, just, put that in a chat box so we're not doing time on that one. Okay, so I just emailed it to her. But so
Okay.
if I can also just like quickly, maybe where's the camera? Here's the chart. So
Okay.
at the very top, that crown has no gates connecting it to the mind, which means it's just wide open, taking in information. The mind also, what you want to know is that you would be picking up other people's thoughts a lot. They're not yours most of the time.
Thank you.
They're not yours. And what's really neat too is you have the gate 11, which is that little black line coming off the second triangle, the upside down side triangle, which is mind, which is harmony. So that when you are, that's what you bring, is you bring harmony actually to people there.
Oh, thank you.
And you have a beautiful, you have the same thing my son has. I'm just wondering, it'll be interesting to find out what you do. But you have in the middle, in the very middle, there is, if you see between the brown and the yellow square, the brown is the throat and the yellow is the self. That middle line that is colored in, it means that both gates are activated through a couple of your planets. And all this can be gone into way more deeply than I am today. But that one in the middle is a leadership line of creative inspiration. It connects two gates. Oh, you've got it up now. Beautiful.
Yep. I
So
need to
can
download
everybody
it.
see this
Make it
chart?
smaller. Let me just bring it up here.
So anyway, that it's the 1-8, and the 1 is creativity, the 8 is contribution. When they come together, you are here as a leader to inspire, to bring in inspiration and to inspire people.
That is so you,
And
Donna.
I see that. Oh, I don't even. Yeah, Karen, I see that in celebrities and singers. We went over a lot of singers in an advanced class I was in. I was so shocked that every single one of them had this creative inspiration line going, or channel. That's called a channel when they're connected, and it's conscious. So if I then take a look at, it's the number 1 and 8. If you look at the right and left, the right screen, you will see that the 1 is your Jupiter. So it's very expansive. It's
For some reason, I can't see the.
Can't see the chart?
No,
Oh, hold
no.
on. Oh, because we had it on the other. Do you see it now?
No,
All right.
no.
We need
She's
to,
working on it. So
It's okay. Yeah.
there's the, I'm sorry about everybody. This isn't, we're not being very professional here, but we're doing the best we can.
It's okay. Thank you. You're doing great.
So, and I hope everybody else is getting something. But you see these, all these numbers? This is on my
Mhm.
little app on my phone,
Okay.
whereas we have it printed. The red ones are all the unconscious genetic lines, and they're all intertwined there too. And the ones, it's probably reversed that you're seeing it. So
Okay.
the ones that are white are the conscious lines, and each one has a planet next to it. So that center line between the brown and the yellow, that's the 1-8. I'm going to look. Your 1 is a 1.3, which is that is creativity, and 0.3, and it's Jupiter, so it's like an extremely expansive part of you. And the 8 is they also include in human design the Earth. So in astrology, they talk about the sun, which is opposed us when you're born. You know, it's out in the sky. And they also include the Earth, where you're sitting when you're born. And your Earth is contribution. So it's like, whoa, you're grounded in contributing to people. And I'm going to look at your theme. Your life theme, it's contagion. It's probably, you're probably contagious with everything that, you know, like you get people involved. And I'd have to read that one. Your type, the manifesting generator, is the type that would go to your gut and you hear an or and then the defining moment is you go, okay, you start heading for the door. If it says yes again, that's what you commit to. If it says no, forget it. You know, otherwise you'll end up committing to things you don't want to commit to. So that's like your way of deciding, you know, is look for the gut, and then check it out another time. And
My gut, yeah, gut instinct. Yeah.
yeah, and real different than Zoe's, which is like, it's there, she does it, or she doesn't do it. and that's her line too.
do you see the screen? Do you see your chart now?
No, but it's okay. I'm taking it in. You guys are doing great.
Okay, how about I hope everybody else is getting it too. Let me see if I can pull up more of show you more of the chart too. I'm going to just show you guys again. See what I can see. I can't see what I'm seeing here, but I can. She's got what's called, see, it's wide open, the top of the crown, and also what's wide open is the root, which means you will experience pressure from other people to do, and it's not your pressure. You could feel immense pressure, like
from others.
Other people's pressure. It's not yours. And also your spleen is undefined, which that can be. That's the one I think it's the one that you would see. I think it's still, it might be backwards on the screen, but your spleen and emotional centers are undefined. So you're going to also feel people's feelings, and you'll feel their fears. And you'll also, but you will be like you can be like an intuitive, a high intuitive in terms of even health.
You should see it now, do you?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, Ken.
Yay, I'm so happy. It makes me so happy. So is everybody else here with me? Is this cool to you? Are you getting some stuff from this? You can wave your hands or send a chat if you're confused or you have a question or something. Just hit the chat button and send something, anybody. Okay. So, but I hope this is interesting. So yeah, so your self-centers defined so you really know who you are. And there are people who have undefined self-centers. That's me. So all my life trying to figure out who I am. But the beauty of it that Chetan taught me that was that my purpose is like this. It's sort of like I can reflect back other people's purposes to them. But I don't have to know I'm a musician of this or of that. And I have to stop looking for who I am in that form. It's different. So every time there's an undefined or open center, you're experiencing all the gates, all the different types of things that people are around you. And so you are going to pick up, like, anywhere it's undefined or open. That's the crown is wide open. The root is wide open. The undefined is the mind, the spleen, the emotions. And just know lots of times if you're feeling a lot, is that mine or is that someone else's? And a lot of time it will be someone else's.
Someone else's, yeah.
And it can get even more defined. Oh, the other one that you also have the 214. That's really cool. Your channels are the lines that connect. When you see them connecting, there are two gates connecting, which then define, which color in two squares. So you have other channels as well. You also have the logical leadership and the alchemist, and there's a lot more to be said about that. But your gut response will align you, that's the alchemist, with the people that give you the opportunities, and you'll be able to tell this is right, this is not right. And you might be you alchemize, you take mundane stuff into a higher level and transforming things. It's a beautiful one. Being a, what did I say, manifesting generator, that's I already told you a little bit about that. It's like you have a lot of energy. You can be restless. You can be shaking your leg like it's a person who might tap their foot, or like, I got to get something going. And
that's me. I used to get in trouble for who's shaking the table.
there you go. So there's all that. And it's like right now, it's like I'm reading, but there's so much can be done with this. I've had people call me and say, I've got this issue. And then I look at it and go, oh, well, God, you're probably feeling this, or this might be the way you do this, and this is your talent. So it's quite a beautiful thing here that you're looking at. There in it also has probably what went through you around age 38 with your north nodes, south nodes, and the Chiron is a key point at age 50. That's a transformer. Let me see what you got there. You've got
now. What did 38? What did happen to 38?
38. Let's take a peek. I hope this is interesting. How's it going? Yeah.
And then Ruth is asking, how long does it take to understand all the things on the chart?
As someone who reads it, or as someone who is, like me, letting you know, because it takes a lot longer to, you mean for yourself or to be like a human design consultant?
No, I don't want to be a consultant, but, just to be able to see,
what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, when I do a 90-minute reading, it's a lot of information when we tape it. I always recommend, at least one or two, at least short ones after, to ask questions and grind it in so you get it. But you'll get a lot. I usually come up with, there's usually something that's really so valuable to someone that just turns their life. Like, oh, that made a huge difference. Just one little thing, like, how do I make decisions? But also seeing the beauty of who you are. Like, I mean, look at this. Look at Donna. You're beautiful. You've got these.
Thank you.
You got this alchemist, the inspiration. You're absorbing a lot from other people, so you need to know. You need to realize where it's coming from, and not always take all thoughts as yours, all emotions as yours, all pressures as yours.
Donna is very protective.
So I'd say, you're asking kind of a big question. How long does it take to understand all of it? Well, that could take a while, but to understand a great deal of it, you can get in a short period of time, at least some points for yourself, Ruth. So I hope that's helpful.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Anybody else have questions about this? And also you, Donna, anything else here? I mean, there's so much.
You mentioned something about age 50. Could you tell me that? What you were reading?
Let me look at this just a minute. Oh, I'm looking at your chart here. I'm looking at on my, so that's, let's see, age, you have the Chiron, no, the south node to the north node. Let's see, I'm looking at your conscious and unconscious. Oh, and here's interesting too. Okay, if you look at, some of you, if you know astrology at all, you will have heard of the north node and south node, maybe. So those are the little, when you go down on the numbers and you go, and here I'm pointing at the screen. It's like, you don't know what I'm pointing at. What are you pointing? You're pointing at me. Anyway, if you go down on those numbers, the top is the sun, then it's the earth, and then there's like an upside down U and a U. The upside down U is called the north node, and the U is called the south node. The south node is kind of the, you could say karmic point and dharmic point in your life. 38, there's Uranus opposes Uranus in astrology, so that's a big, huge change time. I see people getting divorced and married there a lot, or change of life, something. I think it might have been the old midlife until 67 became midlife, which is my age. but your numbers for your south node in the black is 42.2, and in the red is 42.4. The number for the north node is 32.2 and 32.4. And it's quite interesting because when you have it on both the unconscious and conscious, it's definitely something you're learning to bring conscious in this life. It's like you're becoming awake. And the 32 is about learning to hold steady. It's enduring in a good way through continuity and change, holding steady, and holding for other people to adapt as well as yourself, and learning to be clear. The fourth line, which is the unconscious when you have 32.4, the 4 is the fourth line of the I Ching. It's about being true to all your goals, and then you get more confidence when you're challenged by changes, when you're being true to yourself in that way. The 32.2, it's so funny, they're slightly different. It's again about continuity and change, but it's about you're alert with yourself in the time of change, or you get confused by other people. So it's learning to be true to yourself in a lot of ways. What is my truth? Where am I heading? Where am I heading in terms of continuity and change and endurance? And so that's been a lifetime thing of learning to hold to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the 42, what you were learning from, was about learning to be attuned with what's beneficial for you. Again, that's about, and you probably had difficulty with that when you were. So it's about being steadfast with yourself and having clear intentions. And that's the 32.2, the 32.4, which is unconscious. That was the one about being true to your goals, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 42.4 was about, we're looking at the 42, I'm sorry, I already said that. The 42.4 was about being trustworthy, so that you learned how to counsel people from, again, your inner trust and who you are. And you could bring fulfillment to everybody. It's the gate called increase. You're bringing increase, but you were learning how to do that instead of the opposite, to do it clearly. Does that make sense at all with your age 38 shifts?
Yeah, I try to always encourage and build others. Yes.
Yeah.
And bring love and peace. And
one more thing that's really cool here is, I might as well do it because let's look at her. I'll give you a piece of your theme, which is usually at the end of the reading, but the theme just hits people.
And whether I want to or not, like you said, I read everybody in the room when I walk in.
Yeah, I bet you do. You do, definitely. You would feel, yes, you would definitely, in many ways.
And I might not want to read them, but it just happens,
Right. So that's where you need to, maybe put the light around you before you go in, and clear yourself when you go out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Donna was in the police force, so she's very.
Oh wow.
She's very protective.
That makes
of others.
sense.
Yeah.
God, that makes so much sense also about holding steadfast to your truth when no matter what's going on around you. I mean, that's a whole different take on what we were just talking about.
And
Yeah.
I served FBI warrants, and I was the first one to do it, and I got a medal for it in the service.
Wow. Well, wow.
That totally goes with the shot.
One, two, page.
Being extremely protective, you're right. Yes, I'll protect anyone and people I love. Don't hurt them. I just won't allow it, you know.
And I know that from experience because Donna's been doing that with me. She's been praying a lot. Thank you, honey.
So her theme is called transference. Yeah. Well, this is also fits with who, you know, what you did and everything. You have a life theme of transference, which means with the means to convey concepts of potential interest to almost everyone. The depth of your commitment to making a contribution that benefits humanity will be either tested or enhanced by your desires. Being aware of your desires opens you to experiences that expand your senses and brings you into intimate contact with life as you transform the lives of others, regardless of whether you are aware of your effect. Being clear about what really moves you enhances your sense of security and allows what you convey into the world to flow through you unimpeded. You're the quintessential torchbearer who loves to inspire others to pay attention to assets and ideas that resonate with you, whether those be of a personal, family, or business nature. You delight in passing the flame of your own excitement to everyone around you. At times you expand trust, prosperity, co-creation, and all manner of potentially rewarding experiences to the entire world. Retaining your inner balance while you are doing this can be a challenge at times, especially if you find yourself around people who are not ready to commit themselves to you or your offerings as wholeheartedly as you sense they could. With your conscious sun in gate 14, you have the ability to recognize things of substance and deal with them in a way that makes them interesting and useful. You can draw people to you, combining everyone's interests in matters of wealth and prosperity. Appreciating the merits of opulence and often prioritizing that side of your life, you have an ability to commit yourself to almost anything that comes along and make it grow and flourish. But you have a tendency to overdo things sometimes, exhausting yourself by getting carried away with your endeavors. She's giggling. However, eventually when you pause, you have the satisfaction of sitting back and finding fulfillment in your achievements. Paying attention to your own type and authority, which is your type is manifesting generator. Your authority is sacral, which is the same kind of gut, check it out response, will always indicate what merits your attention and activity and when to stand down and just observe instead. So it's always checking in. If you don't check in with yes or no, you might commit to things you don't want. So that's a pretty good little reading there. There's a lot more, a lot more.
That was very good. Thank you very much. Excellent.
Perfect. Is there any questions or is there anything you want to talk about with Karen?
I'm just wondering if there's anybody else.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, anyone else?
My mother would like to do it if you want her information.
Yeah.
Or if anybody else
I have to bring it up on the chart on the screen.
Oh, right. We have to bring up another chart. That's okay. I can email it to you. We'll just see. And is there anybody else also?
Let's see here.
I'm just asking that because we did one family, but I'll be glad to do both of you. Just a thought maybe.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Go ahead and ask.
It would be fun to see your mother because to see the intertwining is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody else.
I want to see this. This is quite interesting too. I want to look at this.
Would you like me to give you the information?
Sure. Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Marita, Mareta.
Uh-huh.
And it's Digan, like indigo.
Oh yeah, okay, so I did it wrong. Okay.
That's okay. No problem.
Yes, okay. Date of birth.
12/1/36.
12/1/36. Okay, got it. Time of birth.
I don't know that, but it was in Elkton, Virginia.
Do you know, you don't know what time of day, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think it was probably early morning though. I think they mentioned something.
Okay, I'll put it in the morning and hopefully that's accurate. Okay, and what's the city again?
Virginia.
No, the city.
Elkton.
El-
Elton.
Got it. I got it. Okay, thanks.
She was born in her grandmother's house, so not quite like the hospital, you know.
She's a manifesting generator too. Right? And
We're the same.
yes, and her authority though, Mama, Marita,
Yeah.
your authority is emotional. So let me send this to
Yeah.
Karen. See how fast we can do this. But keep up the other chart because I'll be able to point out differences or something until you get it. Okay, Karen?
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to put Marita D HD. Here we go. Okay. So when you look at the chart and you see that little square, the triangle on the right near the bottom, that's the emotional center. Yours is filled in, Marita. So it's really important to you in your life is to always wait in making decisions and allowing the feelings to come through. I'm going to look. You have a couple channels coming out of there. So you have openness, innovative interactions. There's a lot more to it than what I'm saying. That's just the name of it. And but it's like also I think your daughter Donna would have felt your emotions a lot. Wouldn't always have been Donna's. So she'd be.
I always do. Yeah, I always do.
Sensing Mama's emotions and interesting. I'm still looking at Donna's, aren't I? That's really interesting because the two of you fill up the whole chart, though. I bet you get along really well. Like in certain ways, you complete each other.
My friends say your mother's your best friend always.
Oh yeah, I mean Mama has a defined spleen and a defined heart. That little triangle, and let me see what her we got her authority. It would be interesting. I didn't look at your profile. She's a 4/6. I'm not sure. I mean, I can, if you fill out the little form too on my website, I can send you this too. Life destiny, life theme. All right, that's interesting too. I'm going to read that. But it's really, Donna, you would be reading her mind, picking up some of her inspiration, her emotions, and her spleen. Now, both of you have the root center. Yours is wide open on the bottom, Donna, and hers is undefined, which means they're very similar. You're both going to be feeling pressure from the outside world that isn't yours. And feeling everybody else's, it's other people's pressures. But Donna, you will be really tuned into your mom because where you're open, she has filled centers. That also gives you a sense of balance. So she completes some of those areas for you. There's a really cool thing I want to tell everybody is that sometimes when you are, if you're feeling confused on a lot of these charts, if you just go to a non-agenda place to make a decision, like a coffee house, you sometimes, it will help clear you because you're around people with different charts and it kind of fills in parts of your charts and activates things that you don't have. And I found that to be true. I found it to be true with myself when I was feeling kind of, lonely recently. And I went, hey, wait a second. In my chart, I really need to incorporate others, but need to be alone sometimes. So being at the coffee house, I'm alone, but I'm also activating more of who I am and more of the entire chart by being around people. And it helped me completely. So, okay. So did you get her chart? And I know her chart's still not up. Yeah. Channels. Let's see. I can see Marita probably, philosophical, abstract thinking, realizing, you might find different ways to do things and really, really able to help other people with their issues, but maybe not as much yourself because you're always trying to find the meaning in life and yet just know that it doesn't come from your mind. It's there.
Right.
You have this beautiful channel, which is of curiosity, where you're always seeking and searching all these things. And Go ahead.
Oh, you're amazing.
And you are a storyteller. You like to tell, so you can use stories to assist people.
Exactly. You're amazing.
Well, it's not me. It's this little chart that's telling me these things. And you know, right now I'm doing, it's kind of like a reading, but there's more to it. It can be more like a coaching. It can be more like a, you know, how will this work in your life and what is it you're dealing with type of thing. I even had someone call me about a surgery and say, how can I handle this? You have automatic talent. You have the talent channel. So does Dear Zoe. And you know who you are also. Your self-center is defined. And if I give you a little bit of your life theme, it's really neat because you see how different everybody's theme is. Yours is page 49. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, did I turn right to it? Oh, wait, I must have read the wrong page. Let's see. Not page 49. Page 48. Oh, there it is. It's right next to it. Okay. It's funny. I turned right to it. My book was open to your theme. Your life involves making plans for the security and for well-being of the family or community. Considering those closest to you, whether lovers, relatives, clients, faithful friends, business associated, or community members, perhaps the most feature in your life. Your greatest source of satisfaction comes from bringing your skills and attention to detail into what your family does and how it flourishes. So what I want to say really quickly to everybody's theme is so different. It's really beautiful to read these because we're so unique in this world.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
One of your gifts is being aware of the needs of those who are most important to you, as well as being able to plan, because it's the personal life theme of planning, how these people can improve their life situations through interacting with the world at large. In all undertakings, you prefer handshake bargains and clear agreements, often made over a dinner table, but you often will need to have written contracts. I hope you didn't run into too much trouble with not getting those in your life to ensure all parties fully appreciate your commitment. Your family's happy, community's happy, you're fulfilling your purpose. So it's making plans is something that comes naturally, but making comprehensive plans that suit you and those important can be like riding two horses at once, difficult. So probably I would bet you would end up trying to help them before yourself. Life can become a balancing act that leaves you frustrated or constantly split between two alternatives. You might feel inclined to coerce others to your point of view, only to find that this upsets the balance of what you're trying to achieve. So you probably learned over time not to try to push them into it.
Exactly.
Ask your daughter, right? The big thing with you with that emotional center defined, I guess we're never getting a chart up, but that's okay.
No, I think it's up. This is it.
But I don't. That's not it.
But I don't see how to. That's not it.
That's not her chart. Look at the top.
Oh.
No, you get somebody. I think you still have Donna's up. You have Donna's up still. You just put up Donna's. So the thing about the emotional thing is you got to come to an emotional still point for clarity. So it takes patience. So that was the big thing. You have to trust your feelings, and people with that have to trust their feelings. So anyway, that's basically, you know, you have an eye for details, etc. You've got it pretty much, but you have to make sure that, you know, you have the support of your family. It sounds like, otherwise you might have felt sometimes like you were handling everybody and everything all at once. So how's that? There you
That's great. That's really great. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Let me see. I want to see something curious here. Just gonna look at Donna's too.
I'm not seeing on here how we can minimize the screen.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We forget it at this
point.
point.
Like we did before.
Yeah, we can't. We're almost done. So I want to just see how we can close up. And you know, it's just it's a pretty fun. It's pretty amazing. I think because one person came in, a woman I know who's, you know, really good facilitator and stuff, and she said, you know, I'm difficult. And I said, okay. Well, we did her chart, her whole thing, and she said, I love this more than astrology because I think it takes in so much, and I don't know how or why it all fits. What they say is there's in physics these things called neutrinos that are true smallest particles that have substance that travel through objects and exchange information. So it's kind of the theory that when you're born, that particle, you know, which, you know, there was an exchange of information right at that moment. And who knows I see it as a magical, beautiful thing that there are metaphors in this universe and we don't know why. That
Right.
similar designs, shapes, but everybody's unique, and that's incredible. So
Yes.
any questions, Marita?
No, that's excellent. And you hit it right on.
What's your website? So we can get more information from you. You said.
Sure. It's DeniseLumiere.com, which is my name.com, which is DeniseLumiere.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Zoe Zoe Lumiere. If you look her up on Google, she's quite incredible too. I'm gonna give a pitch for Zoe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any last questions? It could even be a real quick thing where I look at someone's chart just for like, hey, one question about it or something, and I won't bring up the whole chart. You have any questions, Ginger or Terry? Terry, we have your chart already uploaded, by the way. So this is my website right here.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, who is this?
Don.
Yes.
I'm dealing with some issues with my heart, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can deal with them and heal them without medication. And I'm taking some medication away right now. Do you see that? Or, can you tell?
Bring up her chart again, because somehow I lost it on here. In fact, I'll want you to sign up for it again, because somehow I didn't save yours on my thing when I went to your mom's. Yeah.
I'm taking a last medication away. I have had a disability in the service, and I'm walking again. They told me I'd never walk, etc. And I just threw that to the wind and looked outside the box and found Karen and many other healing modalities. And Karen's been so helpful. And what I have, I'm not supposed to ever walk again, etc. And I'm doing fine there. And I just use the time to learn and heal others right now, and try to heal myself and encourage. And thank you. Just wondered what you thought about, if you saw anything about strength of like taking it's an addictive medication for seizures, okay, that I'm taking away. And I know I can do this, but it's a little challenging. So do you have any reading on that?
I'm going to tell you what I think, and I also think Karen might have something to say about that. I can see in other ways. I'd have to take a little more time to see something about, if there's anything about addictions, things like that, or medicines. But what I do see is your spleen is open. So it's about really taking care of yourself, and you're going to feel you have a sensitive immune system, so you need to take care of it. Your heart is also undefined, so that there's a tendency to feel other people's pressures, values, and that kind of thing on you about their drives, their desires. So it's like coming back to, what is my desire? How do I take care of myself? How do I love myself? How do I sort what's mine and what's other people's? And
so it's like,
yeah, go ahead.
Boundaries, like better boundaries.
Oh yeah. And look at the chart. You can see mind. Well, the crown is inspiration, but the mind, the emotions, the heart, which is that little triangle, the spleen, and even the pressures, the root. So all of those areas you'll be taking in from others. So almost every day, if you wipe off, even just energetically say, I'm clearing everybody for the highest good.
Energy? Yeah, go ahead.
You might also imagine, and Karen's looking at having a way that people can upload the chart onto that iNfinity, so that you're sending energy to the whole thing. You can also do it by looking at it and sending light or whatever, asking God to go into these centers and imagining it in your body, and washing out everybody else's pressures. And so the good news about those things is that really they become the wisdom areas where you understand people, understand all those areas well, if you're not conditioned by them or here's the heart that's open. Now, a lot of people have that open heart. Many people have that open, undefined heart center. But you have a defined self, so you do know who you are in there.
Mm-hmm.
And expression is super important to you, because if you look at all those lines coming out of the throat, you're here to manifest, express, and facilitate other people expressing and manifesting. And those are, you have quite a few of the lines. That's that brown square coming out of there. Really fast.
Okay.
So there's more, but that's what I would say to you is just, be in the loving, send the loving to your heart. And this is, basic spiritual healing for yourself. And you can do that.
Thank you.
And I can't get into the area of medication in terms of telling you what to do. So
No.
yeah.
I don't need to know what to do. I just wanted to kind of know what you thought about. I'm right in the middle and I'm pushing through. I'm pushing straight ahead, okay? And I'm doing it myself. My doctor's great with it. He said, whatever you do, he said, I never saw anybody here with what you have, the things. He said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
That's so beautiful. I'm also want to look at the gate. I'm trying to see 26. It's unconscious, conscious again, because I don't have your chart in front of me anymore. 26-2, it's your Mercury. And can you move this thing right here, Karen, so I can see that? The conscious Mercury is what's coming out of the heart. Book of lines right here. And I want to see where the other unconscious. It's a 26-3 in the Saturn. Okay, so that's interesting. She goes, what's happening? Okay, so Saturn and Mercury. So the 26 is about fortitude, accumulation. And this is so beautiful. This is like real Asian. It's the I Ching. There exists an internal balance between fulfilling your own needs and other needs. And this gate also connects into birds and reptiles and fish. It's almost like the instincts are available. Or if you feel a connection to birds, you might have it. But the 26-2 Mercury, this is the key in learning in it, is being self-restrained. Patience is a virtue that serves in the long time. When held up by forces beyond your control, you're best advised to exercise patience. So it's learning patience rather than pushing forward too fast, especially. And also Mercury has to do with, intellect and the mind and so on. And then it's also Saturn. So the Saturn on your unconscious is exerting some pressure. It could be limitation on your fortitude. And yet it also can give you direction too. And let's see, the 26-3 line is what that is. You see on the left, it's if you know what the Saturn symbol is, where you see 26-3, is that it's about being prepared. Be clear in your motivations and how to exercise them well. You succeed with or without the help of others when you overcome your fears and doubts. So what I see with that too is because you have the open spleen center, remember you're taking in other people's fears. When you're feeling fear, you got to kind of wash them off. And
because it's other people's use it, I feel.
And you'll feel your moms. You'll feel your moms and hear a lot of your mom's stuff because you have those open centers where she has them filled in.
Oh, I absolutely know what she's feeling and what she's thinking, whether she wants to tell me or not.
Yeah, and probably important for both of you to disconnect from each other so you don't take it on through your body. Ask spirit to take it.
Yeah, disconnect. Yeah. Disconnect every once in a while,
Yeah, it's not disconnect. Don't worry, Mom. You're still connected. But what I mean is disconnect energetically, the karmic. Like Moretta won't want Donna to be taking on her stuff, and Donna won't want Moretta to be taking on hers. It's like disconnect energetically. I don't need to take on your karmic flow and what's going on in your body. Let's ask spirit to clear that rather than me, myself, and I.
So if she's experienced a lot of stress and I feel it right away, how do I disconnect that? I mean, I know if I talk to her and I'm, 50 miles away or a couple states away, I just know,
Well, there's one one is Karen's app would be quite helpful. And I'll let her talk about that.
They both have it.
They both have it, yeah. And the other is breathing. And just breathing it out. maybe even writing down what stress you're feeling from her, burning it, ripping it up.
Okay.
Imagine, if you look at the chart where that spleen center is, which is the emotionals, the one you see on the right, the spleen's on the left. Just imagine a clearing over it. Just wash your hands over it and say, I'm disconnecting from mom's stress and fears. And then also remember that if you rise up to an overview, like where God's looking,
Mm-hmm.
then you see it more perfectly and you can extend the loving without being involved in it. And I think that's part of what I was reading to you in some of these things that you were asking me. That
Okay.
says, hold to your own,
Okay.
hold to
Yeah.
your own. That's what you're learning. And that's where you can give more gifts. So I hope that's helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Very much.
Maybe
Awesome.
next week we can bring the chart up in the Infinity and do a little bit on that.
Oh, maybe you want to.
Yeah.
And Karen's Infinity has been awesome for me to help others and myself and to learn.
That's so
Yeah.
good. And can you imagine, we were talking about if you even can take a picture of your chart,
Mm-hmm.
and upload it and run the Infinity on it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, rather than your photo. And we'll do that next week because,
Okay.
this week was about providing an understanding, a foundation for, comprehending what this is, what human design is. So next week we can go more into the Infinity. We'll spend like 15 minutes at the end going into the Infinity and uploading a chart. And then we're still actually working out ways to do that because Denise mentioned today that there's another chart. You mentioned another chart that would actually maybe better than the human design chart to upload, a higher level or more.
No, I was saying the human design chart to add in. No, I don't think I was saying there was another one.
Was it the round one?
No, but that's a whole nother idea. We're
Yeah.
coming up with let's see the two of us. Come on in here, Karen.
Yeah,
I tried to get her in the view. I think
creation in process.
We're figuring it out because I started thinking, wow, what a cool thing you can do here to upload it and then run it on it. And she could also be running people on their charts. I think also the left side, the unconscious genetic, I've always thought about those. And there's books. I mean, there's a book of lines. There's all Chetan, Chetan, Parkin.
Oh, can you hold it there one more second?
Well, let me show you the basic book first. That's this.
Okay. Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
It's the basic of his, and it's really neat. If you get real deep in the lines, you can get this, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
And the Destinies really, I can send people photo of their page because that's all you need unless you're doing readings. It's a book.
All right.
And then they also have an app on humandesignforusall.com. You can download an app that, if you subscribe to it, it'll show this same thing. This is where I got these from. And I so believe in them. Their readings are about 6 times as much as mine, though. So,
I got you.
Because they're teaching all over the world. But they are experts. That you can pick up in the app, you can hit one of these numbers and it'll tell you a little bit about it. And the 0.4, 0.2, 0.1, 0.6, all those have keys too. That's why I would say the first line or the second line. It's of the I Ching, if you've ever seen an I Ching set of 6 lines.
Okay.
That's what it is. And it has meaning. They all have meanings that change. They all have keys. And man, I'm still learning a lot. And I think it was, who was it earlier who said, she's still here. Someone asked me earlier, it's like, how long does it take?
Yeah. How long? Yeah.
Well, I'm still learning. I mean, it's massive. And I've been doing mentoring with Chetan personally all year. And I've taken a lot. And so it can be a never ending process, but there's, if you get the tools that help you, that's what counts, unless you want to be a reader or, coach with it. You just can get a little more every time. And what I love to do is use it as coaching too. Like I said, you call me up and you say, I have this issue. And then I'll take a real look all through the chart as to where it is and what tools there are with that as well. So, yeah. There you go.
You're right on. You really hit the bullseye for both of us.
Oh,
Thank you.
good. And I hope everybody else who didn't get a chance to talk or didn't choose to, God bless all of you. And thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, you can, email me or email Karen. I know Terry has my email because I sent her a chart. Ginger, if you want one, just go on my website and just do the free chart, and it'll get you a picture like this and some very basic information, but it'll be helpful.
And I think we can, we can send you an email if you want to type.
Oh,
email.
sure. Oh, oops. There we go.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Yeah, bless
Well,
you. Thanks for asking
Fantastic.
questions. Yeah.
And thank you. Yeah, and we'll figure out what to do next week. We're still trying to, think about how to do this. And with the new quantum infinity, it will be much easier because we'll be able to incorporate more of the human design. Whereas with this one, we're limited. We can upload the chart, and so we can integrate it with the session, with the infinity session. But we're still working with that, trying to figure out which is the best way to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Great to see you, by the way.
You too. Well, I can't see you, but it's good to hear your voice again, which we spoke this morning.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you both. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Be well.
You too. Be well.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mhm.